Hi everyone, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks. And while everybody is frankly glazing over the KR1, calling it the Ram Guard, and to be fair, I think that just having that extra amount of ramming damage that you get from the tier 11 vehicles, crazy amounts of upgrades, definitely secures it that spot. I'm going to talk about the vehicle that you might want to forget, especially considering that this is a premium tank, and if you want to play like an absolute complete silly sausage, then this vehicle might be the one for you, because you can make credits while also playing absolutely insane. Now, let me clarify, the next 3 games that we see here are going to be completely cherry-picked. For every time that you see success like this happen, there have got to be, shall we say, a few experimentations. I think that is probably the nicest way to put it. But what you're going to see today is 3 of the most ridiculous games of World of Tanks you've probably ever seen with regards to ramming. This is the Vercingétorix. It is a tier 9 French premium medium, and it likes nothing more than to just lightly bump tanks there, with the Hotchkiss probably wondering what was that, taking 600 ramming damage while driving backwards as quickly as they possibly could. But hard to be able to get away from this monstrosity. Now, ladies and gents, I want you to count along with me as to how many different vehicles we are going to ram this game. So the Vercingétorix has a speed mode, as you can see, and when you activate the speed mode on this vehicle, you up the top speed to, I believe it's 60 kilometers an hour. Now, the vehicle's also got tremendous engine power, but it's not incredible. So what I like to do on this vehicle is kick it up a notch. I've made this vehicle pretty much as fast as you can without using directives. I got a Bond turbo, but that's not enough, you know? We need more. We need something that's going to protect us from doing stupid stuff like this. And ladies and gents, just check this out. That's 2 different tanks at the same time. I ram-killed the Hellcat for 400, and the Borsig also took 847 at the same time. So I'm thinking, should I shoot this guy? I was actually going to, but oh well. When your shots don't work, why not just a slight and then, yeah, send them back to the garage. That moment there was just YouTube glory. Managing to do over 1,200 ramming damage at the same to do 2 different vehicles, destroying one and absolutely crippling the other tier 8 for pretty much all of their hit points. And oh baby, it's gonna get better. RU-251. What? Oh my word, complete injustice there as the tractor gets us. But you know, sometimes you need to be a little bit creative, and ram killing an equal tier light tank with your bottom is the best way to be able to get through it. We reverse into the RU-251, adding up near enough another 700 ramming damage in total if we're including the first one. And are you still counting how many vehicles we have rammed this game? I hope you are. We are less than 3 minutes into this game. We've traveled probably about maybe 2 to 3 kilometers, and the party is only just getting started. So should we stop here? No, we really shouldn't. Unfortunately, you can see with this build, you don't really shoot much on the move, and I decide to not take the ram on the T-29 to make sure that this turtle isn't going to be able to turn around. I ram the turtle for 500, take 178 damage in reply. That thing's a very heavy vehicle. Think, should I go around the corner against this KV-5? And I do. Fire on the move, but he's not my target. Let's keep more rams going. We're just going to go towards this Leo, raise the gun, and yeah, good night, sweetheart. And the dastardly KV-5 shoots me in the back. We're not hitting anything with the gun handling on this vehicle inside the speed mode, but you know, I think it was about half the enemy team so far. We've got to finish the job right. An extra 300 damage against the KV-5. I probably could have sweated. I probably could have maybe shot him 1 or 2 times. Well, maybe definitely 1 time. That was 5,700 combined in less than 4 minutes and 5 kills. Literally doing ram damage, congrats to everyone who was counting along, to 8 out of 15 players on the enemy team in that very short period. So good, do it again, QuickyBaby, I hear you all say, and don't worry, I got you, fam. Yeah, I don't think I can really pull that off. But what I can pull off is disgusting amounts of silly gameplay in tanks that are built to maybe not do stupid things, but I find stupid ways to play them. So let me talk a little bit about the build. So you might be noticing Spole Liner, QB, why? Okay, so the Spole Liner has multiple purposes. Firstly, the Spole Liner increases my weight, which will increase my ramming damage, which will allow me to one-shot. What? This is outrageous! Pesky 1390. I'm going to have to finish you with my shell instead. I cannot honestly believe that guy managed to get through a gap I've never thought of using in World of Tanks. But I digress. Let me focus on once again. So the spiral liner increases my weight, which increases my ramming damage. It reduces the high explosive damage that I will take. It will reduce artillery stuns, that kind of stuff. But the real reason why I'm using it is because it protects my crew from injuries. And so because I protect my crew from injuries, it didn't protect him from injuries. 1,530 against the WTF Panzer IV. What's this? The most little bump of all time? Does 700 against the Shelmer? While it protect my crew from injuries, that will allow me to drop the medkit and use fuel instead. This fuel will increase my engine power by another 10%. Not your gun handling though, which will allow you to have more grunt in the engine, to be faster, to surprise your opponents, and to ram them harder. And little rams like that against not weak vehicles, like this Object 283, becomes like 500 damage bombs. And so I'm doing more damage with these rams than I would do if I was penetrating my shells. And just also being able to push your opponents around like this and tracking them while also pushing them, because you're almost breaking the physics with how heavy a vehicle like this is and also how fast it goes, allows you to just finish them off without actually having to shoot them. And I believe 2 minutes into this game, we're up to 4,000 damage, of which, have we done about 3,000 ramming damage? Well, if we haven't then, we're going to have done now. 500 to an E50 with only 150 taken from him. Unfortunately, got in the back by the dastardly T30. So again, look, YouTube analytics. I think this was like about 3,000 or more ramming damage in, what is that, 2.5 minutes? As well as 5,000 damage overall and 3 kills. You can absolutely obliterate these kinds of games, these absolute 2 or 3 minute kind of crap fests with a vehicle like this. So the reason to use this build is not only because it's definitely the most fun way to play a vehicle, that all in all, otherwise I think it's just a little bit dull. The reason to use this build as well is just by taking important parts of the map, being able to do really stupid things and be able to get away with it. So why not in a tier 10 matchup, right? A tier 10 matchup, surely you can't do absolutely outrageous things with a build like this. Well, Uncle QuickyBaby says, hold my drink, as the Vercingétorix is going to take the fight to the valley. And can we just have Fs in the comments down below for the fact that we're never going to see encounter Lakeville ever again? I've been so missing Assault. I know that it's fantastic 2.0 with all of the new features and everything, but gosh darn it, do I really miss playing the Assault and the encounter maps. I genuinely think some of them are better, and you know what? The 5-head idea, why doesn't Wargaming just replace some of the standard maps with some of the absolute best Assault maps within their rotation, which won't actually affect the matchmaker? Controversial take, I guess. Probably have to do a whole different video on it. But again, I digress. Let's focus on the Vercingétorix. And that is that by using this speed build, you can take positions that other vehicles can only dream of early on in the battle, but still have a nasty gun once you get there. This vehicle, it's got 253 standard pen, 297 gold pen, and 400 alpha. And getting forwards, not only are we going to be able to apply those high pressure situations, we're also going to allow our allies to do something. And it looks like the Borsigs are very happy that we spot the WTF Panzer IV, and that TVP, who I'm not sure if they got blind fired, but they're not looking very healthy anymore, is not going to be doing very well inside this battle, but instead going back to the garage. So yeah, if you do decide to play this thing a little bit slowly, and you can see that I'm not actually using the turbo right now, the gun handling is not too bad. The aim time's 2.3 seconds, the accuracy is 0.36. It's absolutely fine to play the vehicle in this way. So while the previous 2 games, I don't think I ever left the speed mode. For this one, however, I can leave the speed mode, you know, and pick up some kills, get some shots. I'm going to mark the map now to see if I can be able to find out where the enemy are, and yeah, I think I found out where that WTF Panzer IV was. And slowly but surely I can chip down at the enemy's defenses, pinning them in place in a futile position. And while the enemy definitely should have invested some tanks in the valley to be able to protect, it's also just a case of, even if they did, I feel like I could have still taken them on. At least we did in the previous 2 battles, right? That would have been a hit, right? That would have been a hit. And so actually, we've managed to pick ourselves up the communications expert ability, which has now given me more crew skill. More crew skill means more rams for the second part of the battle. I say, help please, I spot, in capitals, because this game has been very unsatisfying so far. But let's see if it can be a little bit more satisfying. And also, this thing's got 1,950 hit points. Oof, dude, that's not going to buff out. All right, so 700 ramming damage against the Su-130PM in a follow-up shot. And now, for some reason, I'm chasing 2, make that actually 3 tier 10 tank destroyers. So the ultimate opportunity for a kamikaze medal. 600 ramming damage there. This is like the Blair Witch right now. Go into the corner, you naughty little boy, and get rammed. And there's our first kamikaze medal. Our second kamikaze medal. And yeah, you guessed it. Why not? Why not third kamikaze medal? 3.5 minute game, 6 kills, 7,000 combined in a tier 10 matchup. And 3 kamikaze medals in a single battle. And somehow I even managed to survive. So whether it is literally doing ramming damage to over half of the enemy team in an absolute crushing victory, or getting your first ace tanker in less than 3.5 minutes. We're getting 3 kamikaze medals and 8,500 combined to boot. And spoilers, making a fat load of credits at the same time, because you only have to pay for your hull. You don't have to pay for the ammunition of ramming. This thing can be absolutely bonkers. But also, let me clarify, before all of you get your wallets out and throw them at the premium store to be able to get your hands on a Vercingétorix and set it up in a very expensive way, I'm spending 20,000, if not 30,000 credits a game on premium consumables to be able to achieve this build. Let me also clarify that I have about 100, maybe 120,000 games played in World of Tanks. And of those, I play stupid for at least 10 to 20% of my battles. So I'm probably sitting there with a 12 to 24,000 games of World of Tanks where I have played like an idiot like this. So look, it might look glorious, but these are definitely cherry-picked games. It doesn't always go well. That's for sure. And that's even with a trained professional like Muppet at the helm of the ship. Anyway, ladies and gents, boys and girls, that was it for today. The Vercingétorix, or might as well be called the Vercingétorix in this case. Really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Let me know in the comments down below, how much ramming damage was there done in how much time for this video today? Because I think it was pretty disgusting. And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.